Welcome back to another episode of Anyone Can Attain Fitness. This is Antonio. I am also doing this in collaboration with my other business, Fit Gamers Guild, because I want people who play video games to also be in shape if they want to be. Plus, I like playing video games. This gives me an excuse to play video games again. Today, we're talking about goal setting for fitness, but you can take these concepts and apply it to anywhere else in your life. And if you're smart, you'll see here how video games already do the goal setting for us. Goal setting isn't just a motivational tool, it's a psychological strategy. There's a science behind goal setting. There's goal setting theory, and there's one I didn't write down, the self-determination theory. The idea of goal setting theory was popularized and developed by Edwin Locke. He shows that when goals are clear and measurable, people are more likely to succeed. Goals give us structure and something to strive for. Self-determination theory is the idea that when goals line up with your personal values, your passion, and your desires, you're more likely to stick with them. If you choose your own goals and it feels authentic, you're more likely to stay motivated and keep trying despite setbacks. Now that's great, but you want to make sure your goals are effective. They're set well so that we can follow through with them. How do we make sure that's done? Well, we want to avoid setting too many goals. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be the most fit person in the entire world or the best video gamer in the entire world, but you can't do it all at once. You need to pick a few things to focus on at first. If you spread yourself too thin, you won't see progress in anything. You want to avoid setting negative goals. This is more of a mindset thing. So it's not always about, oh man, I'm too fat and I need to stop being fat. It's better to think, I want to be more fit. I want my goal to be that I have more energy. I want my goal to be that I am stronger than I used to be. Make your goals positive. Setting both short and long-term goals will help to ensure your success because you'll stay motivated in the moment. You can accomplish short-term goals daily, weekly, monthly, and all these things will compound into a long, maybe year-long goal. If I'm eating in a 500 calorie deficit every day, I should lose a pound every week. Once I've done that for 10 weeks, I should have lost 10 pounds, right? And if my long-term goal is to lose 10 pounds, it took me 10 weeks, but every week I had a goal to lose 1 pound, and every day I had a goal to be in a 500 calorie deficit. That's an easy way to do it, but this also applies to any other goal. Evaluate your goals regularly. This helps you to stay on track and make adjustments as needed. Life changes, and so can you. If your goal was originally to lose 50 pounds, but you've lost 25 pounds and you realize that you don't want to lose more weight, you just want to look better, then we can change your goal from losing weight to changing your body fat composition. If your goal was to run a marathon and you've run a 5K and you realize you don't have the attention span to run anymore, we can change your goal from running a marathon to running a faster 5K. Smart goal setting is just a strategy. It's an acronym for being specific, for having measurable goals, for having attainable goals, for picking relevant goals, and for putting a time constraint on those goals. Specific meaning I don't want to just be stronger. I want to be able to squat 200 pounds. Measurable meaning how am I going to measure my progress? So if every week I squat an extra 10 pounds and my initial squat was 50 pounds and I can do 60 next week, it takes me 2 weeks, but then I can do another 10, so I'm doing 70. Those are measurable goals. Video games give us specific goals that are measurable. So if you're playing Call of Duty, it might want you to get so many experience points before you can level up. Well, how do you get experience points? Well, you go around and you pwn noobs. Well, how do you pwn noobs? Well, you have to get good. Well, how do you get good? You used to learn the buttons, right? So everything's specific, and then you start to measure it because now you can see how many people you've killed in free-for-all deathmatch, and can you attain the goal? Yes, because you just have to take one person out at a time, and that's attainable is the next part I want to talk about because you want your goal to be challenging but realistic. If you want to run a marathon, but you've never run before, you're not going to run a marathon next month. If you want to prestige in Call of Duty, but you've never played Call of Duty before, you're not going to prestige next month. It's going to take time. So instead, just aim for going up a level on Call of Duty. And again, it does it for you. Every time you level up, it feels good. All you want to do when you're trying to get to fitness is gamify your goals. Just turn all your health and fitness goals into the same thing with games. Give yourself a little bronze star or something. But break down your goals into small attainable steps. Make sure your goals are relevant. Why would you play Call of Duty and try to prestige if you hate first-person shooters? Maybe you like playing RPGs. RPGs are the same thing. You want to gain experience points so that eventually you can level up. And then you level up so eventually you can get to max level. You want to cast magic spells at people. Why would you go out and run all the time if your goal isn't to be a runner, if your goal is to lift weights? Pick relevant goals. Time bound. You want to set a timeline. Video games aren't so good with this part because they just want you to play forever. Time bound sometimes comes in when you're playing with your friends and you don't want them to be too far ahead of you. In fitness, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, but you've been trying to do this for 5 years, that's pretty demotivating. You want to set a deadline for yourself with a time frame because a time frame helps you to stay focused. If you just let yourself fall off the wagon for a month, you haven't made any progress towards your fitness goals. But if you have to get something done in a month only, then you know that every day counts. So time bound is super important. You want to measure your progress as well. You want to find ways to measure your progress. That's what we talked about. It's super important that you pick measuring standards that actually matter. Sometimes seeing the weight on the scale can be frustrating because that's not moving, but you're already making positive changes that you're not taking into consideration. If your body composition is changing, meaning that your body tissues are less fat and more muscle, water, bone density, you're making effective change. If your self-efficacy, right, your confidence in yourself to do things like counting your calories, like exercising, if that's going up, that's progress. That's better than where you were at before. If your skill is going up, again, like self-efficacy is your confidence to do things, skill would be like, I know more recipes, I know more exercises, I'm getting more flexible. If you're seeing your skill improve, you're making progress. Medical markers are like your heart rate and your blood pressure. Your doctor's worried about your health. Your doctor's going to want to see your heart rate dropping, not like catastrophically, but if you have high blood pressure, you want it to be lower. If you have a high heart rate when you're resting, you want that to be lower. You'll sleep better with a lower heart rate and a stronger heart. Your cholesterol goes down. We want our markers that indicate bad health to go down. And even if you're not necessarily losing 2 pounds a week, if your health is improving, you're making progress. And the last thing is your emotional state. If emotionally you're feeling better about what you're doing, you're just overall going to be happier with yourself. And that's progress. We want to be happier with ourselves more often. The less stress we have, the easier it is for us to affect change in our body and make progress towards our goal. Feel better about yourself. Let all these small changes that are happening every day as you make these decisions improve your mental state. Now it's time for action. You've created an effective plan. You are motivated to do it. It's time for you to formulate a plan. You need to go ahead and start coming up with the steps that you're going to take to start. You've created a plan of deadlifting 1,000 pounds. Right now you're deadlifting 100 pounds. You need to start improving your strength. You need to start improving your range of motion. You need to start eating more because you need the fuel. You need to put those things in a plan so that they are effective. Join the Fit Gamers Guild group. Link in the description. That's what we do. We help you with these goals. We give you assistance. You make a post on there or you read other people's posts so that you know what everybody's going through and you can pick up some tips and that'll help you come up with a plan. You can absolutely create that plan on your own, but working with a coach can make the process easier and more effective. I'll keep you accountable, I'll provide expertise, and I'll adjust your plan based on your progress. All in all, guys, creating a goal isn't just something you do for fitness. It's something that you can do for anything else in your life. Starting a business, getting better at video games, getting better with your family. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, you can follow me on Instagram at Antonio J. Burgos. You can find me on Facebook, Antonio Burgos. I think I have a TikTok. I'll have to figure that out. I am on YouTube at Tony B Fitness. And my podcast is Anyone Can Attain Fitness. Peace.